Alright, here we are? Wait, why does everything look the same? How do I even know if I'm in the 90s?
Freedom. We will not compromise. We will live the game through our hands. We will be in control of something. We will change the system.
Yep, I'm in the 90s, and at the perfect time as well, because Mario 64 was just released. And that's why I went back in time, so I could have a more authentic experience with the game. And for why does this room look the same? Well, you see, it exists between space and time, so I don't break the fabric of reality because I brought 2 whole Mario games that just do not exist yet. Also some stuff about quantum physics, and this is taking longer than I thought it would. Let's just talk about Mario 64. Starting from the beginning, the mid-90s. Sprites are out and polygons are in. 3D gaming was on the horizon and Nintendo couldn't just stand there and do nothing. Except they did. For an entire year. So on that fateful day of September 29th, 1996, Nintendo launched their first 3D console, the Nintendo 64. In North America, Japan got it a few months earlier and Europe just couldn't stop laughing for 5 months straight. Launching with a mind-bending total of 2 whole games, the Nintendo 64 had to make a name for itself compared to the already year-old PlayStation and Sega Saturn. And while one of those games was Pilot Wings 64, the other was
It's me, Mario!
that. Mario 64 is one of those timeless classics, but because this game came out in 1996, I am legally obligated to state the following. This game is old, almost 25 years to be exact, and it has aged. I am so sorry. It's definitely rough around the edges for being the premier 3D platformer of its time. And that 3D, that Z-axis, made Mario 64 the talk of the town. It pretty much laid down the groundwork for all 3D collectathons to follow, some even surpassing it, and others, well, at least they tried. Mario wasn't just this anymore, he was the gaming industry king once again, in all of his old 3D polygonal glory. Now it's time to play the revolutionary title that not only helped sell the N64, but revolutionized 3D gaming as a whole. Although the jump to 3D brought more than just the third dimension.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle.
They can talk now. It's still weird to hear voice acting in Mario games, even today. Before, Mario was just a blank slate above blank slates. Here, he has a voice, hair, and eyes that are way too close together. And yeah, now we are used to the
Yahoo! It's me, Mario! Ah, ravioli.
But back then, this must have been nuts to hear. After that, we follow Lakitu, who holds up the camera giving us an in-game explanation to why the camera angles in Mario 64 are garbage. You sure you got the right prescriptions there, bud? Then Mario jumps out of the pipe, and this is the future. Peach's castle is right there and has been taken over by Bowser. Your mission? Collect enough power stars to unlock the highest point of the tower and beat up Bowser and save Peach. It's pretty basic. But the real meat is in the gameplay. Now during development, Miyamoto found that precise jumps just weren't possible in the 3D space, especially when it was new. So Mario 64 focuses on the greatest strength of a 3D platformer: movement. Right out of the gate, we're given so much. Walking, running, jumping, double jump, triple jump, a punch, a kick, and a 1-2-3 knockout, long jumps for clearing large gaps, backflips to show off, a midair kick and a midair dive, side jump, ground pound, slide kick, sweep kick, and most importantly, the wall jumps. Or wall kicks. That'll work. Some of these moves will even be brought into the 2D games, like the wall jump and ground pound, 2 fantastic additions to Mario's moveset. But all these options wouldn't matter if the levels weren't designed around movement, and thankfully, most are. Bob-omb Battlefield, Womp's Fortress, Cool Mountain, Jolly Roger Bay, Big Boo's Haunt, Lethal Lava Land, Hazy Maze Cave, Shifting Sand Land, Dire Docks, Tall Mountain, Snowman's Land, Tiny Huge Mountain, Wet Dry World, and Tick Tock Clock. Even if some levels weren't as open as others, they would still complement Mario's movement with decent platforming challenges. The most iconic out of all of these is easily Bob-omb Battlefield. Just a wide open area you can explore without the fear of any cheap deaths. It also has the most memorable track in the game and lets the player just mess around. Look, if the game was just this level, it would still be considered a masterpiece. But a good late game example is Tick Tock Clock, my personal favorite, which has you traversing from the bottom to the top of a clock. The room for error is forgiving, as you're more likely to land on a platform that's below you instead of to your death. It's easily my favorite level at the end of the game. Each level also has a wealthy amount of challenges, some repeated throughout the entire game like the 8 red coins quest, but it never felt like padding because it complemented the core gameplay so well. Wait, I feel like I forgot about one. Oh yeah, Rainbow Ride! Out. Rainbow Ride is my least favorite level in the game. Remember, Mario 64 is about movement, and one way a 3D platformer cannot be fun is if you're doing nothing. And 50% of your time spent here is just standing, waiting around on the slowest carpet ride ever until you make a single mistake and you fall to your death because this stage is nothing other than a suicide pit. With that one exception, all of the levels in Mario 64 stand the test of time, mostly because they were designed with the core gameplay in mind and are filled to the brim with secrets and new areas to explore. I could not believe that Volcano and Lethal Lava Land was accessible. That blew my mind. Same with the Pyramid and Shifting Sand Land. Felt like it was straight out of Zelda, and the iRock boss was decent enough to fight. Tiny Huge Island utilizes its gimmick to the largest potential. The world, the enemies, and challenges are a whole lot different when you're only the size of a nickel. Bowser himself also got some good levels. They hit the right amount of challenging for me, though the boss fights aren't that hard. Just grab him by the tail and bye-bye. However, we talked about the gameplay, we talked about the levels, now it's time for the power-ups. Power-ups were a tradition in the 2D games, but they took a different route in 64. I introduced to you the cap power-ups. Flying, Metal, and Vanish Caps. The first one you'll encounter is most likely the Flying Cap, the most iconic item from Mario 64. I'm not a big fan of this one, I just never got used to it. Like, it's fun, but I never feel as free as I would prefer to be when I'm in the air. Like, I'm always going down, so like, how is this flying? Next up is the Vanish Cap, which allows Mario to walk through objects. It's a cool idea that's just not utilized as much or as uniquely as I would have wanted it to. Finally, the Metal Cap, the best one. Not only does it turn Mario metal, makes him invincible to fire and sink like a brick, it also has the best music. Speaking of which, the music, it's pretty good. Standouts are the slide theme, an absolute classic, Jolly Roger Bay with its melodic ambience just pulling me back into the water. Mario, no! The Bowser levels I think are pretty neat, and I can't forget about Whomp's Fortress, which is the same as Bob-omb Battlefield, and Tall Mountain, and Tiny Huge Island. Will this be an issue? Yeah, all the levels share music with at least one other, and I'm split on this. On one hand, it doesn't affect me too much. On the other hand, it's Rainbow Ride having the slide theme. Why? Other than that, Mario 64's music is still good regardless of how many tracks it has. Of course, the goal is to get at least 70 power stars, but like the overachiever I am, I'm going for 120. With 15 levels to go through containing 7 power stars each, yes, 7, if you collect 100 coins in the level, you get a power star. And get this, you can stay inside the level instead of being booted back to the castle. Kinda wish they kept that idea throughout the whole game. At least the missions in each level are different enough. One has you returning a lost penguin to its mother. Oh, my bad, I mean, Mario, what are you doing? Mario, no, no, Mario! In Tall Mountain, a monkey steals your hat. Just gotta catch him and... Yeesh, Mario, calm down. I get you that cake, okay? A few bosses are sprinkled throughout, like the Womp King and... Okay. Why am I the enemy here? Like, half the NPCs are just people getting stomped over, choked, or beaten up by Mario. Was that Piranha Plant having a nice dream? Well, too bad I need coins. But altogether, that equals only 105 power stars. Where are the other 15? They're in the castle. Okay. There, 119 power stars collected. That did require me to go through Rainbow Ride 6 more times than I would like to, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. Now off to the final level where 8 more of those stupid red coins contain the final star. And you thought you could trick me, Nintendo. I can see right through your plans. Finally, all 120 power stars, my life is complete. Time to face off against Bowser for the last time, and since the other fights weren't too hard, this shouldn't be a problem. There were some problems, but with the power of lives, I was able to dethrone the Koopa King and... Wait, how did you not know how many power stars were there? This entire operation was your idea. Never mind. Mario heroically flies away, and Princess Peach is saved somehow and kisses Mario on the nose and decides to bake him a cake. A cake? After all that? Just a cake? And I don't even get credited for helping. Thank you, Mario. At least you didn't forget. Darn it, he was looking at Lakitu. Whatever, the credits roll with music playing in the background and showcasing all the areas in the game you visited, ending with,
Thank you so much for playing my game.
oh, you're welcome. Now what do I get for collecting all 120 power stars? Well, if you head back to the castle courtyard, a cannon will appear, and if you shoot up to the castle, you'll find Yoshi. And what were you doing up here while I was busting my blue overall butt saving Peach, taking in the sun rays and oh my. Sure, the 100 1-up present is pretty superfluous now that I've finished the game, but it's tied to a secret character, so I can't be too mad. It was worth it, 100%. So that was Mario 64. Definitely held up better than I expected, even though it's rough, like really rough. I still had a great time. All of that boiled down to the core part of the game. I said it before and I'll say it again. Movement. Because of how this game controls and the world it explores is the reason why this game is so revered, even today. Too bad that the 3D All-Stars release was the Shindu version, which not only took out the backwards long jump, but also... You will be missed. But I'll never give up. That's why I went back to the past, when the Shindu version never existed. I'll be able to do all the backwards long jumps I want, and not even Father Time will be able to stop me. Almost, and there! Haha, easy peasy. And wait, no! Whoops. No! What am I gonna do? The only way to stop a vortex caused by a backwards long jump is with an equally good or better game. Why do I know this? But what game? Now my copy of Banjo-Kazooie. For the greater good. Hey, Portal! How about favorite bird combo? Oh dear. Darn it! Meddling with space, time, and the power of the backwards long jump really does something to a man. I mean, I'm fine, but I lost my copy of Banjo-Kazooie! I almost lost my GameCube! I can't take this kind of stress anymore! Oh, I need a vacation.